because of a time zone, they've celebrated it already. They're probably in the evening of Radhastami now, if you're 12 hours ahead of us, like in India, Singapore, some of places like that. But here we are. Time is relative to us, spent on the sun, but we are happy to celebrate Radhastami. Before that, I just want to give a little background. Obviously, we are in CC, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why Chaitanya Charitamrita? Well, there's a link between Lord Chaitanya and Radharani, and most of you know that. Sri Chaitanya came as male, Radharani was female, but the mood is the same. Maranakya Mahabhav, same Krishna Prema level, the highest level that Radharani had was what Lord Chaitanya came here with also. So the personality may be different, male and female, but as far as the mood, pretty much the same. So that's why we can use CC for, Chaitanya Charitamrita for Radhastami, or to glorify Radharani. When you glorify Radharani, you pretty much glorify Lord Chaitanya also. So, all right, so the text has been pulled up, and I'm gonna read the whole thing through. It's long, so I'm gonna beg that I read and go on to the word for word and so on, because it's 5 of them, and everybody repeating it will take quite a while. So if you don't mind, I'm just begging permission to do it like that. So I'll read through it and then read the word for word and go to the English translation also. Okay. Again, I beg understanding from you that I've changed it like that. All right.
We're looking forward to it, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. It's okay, right?
Okay. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, good. Now, so Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya, chapter 23, text 87 to 91. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri
Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya
Dvaita Chandra Jaya
Gaur
Gora
Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya
Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Sri
Sri Chaitanya Jaya
Jaya
Nityananda
Nityananda
Jaya
Jaya
Dvaita Chandra
Chandra
Jaya
Jaya
Gora
Gaur
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda.
Vrinda.
Hare Krishna. Jai. So this morning, Radhastami, very important, very, very important celebration for us. The texts that are pulled up describe the qualities of Srimati Radharani. So we will begin now. Ata Vrindavane Swarya Kriyante Pavara Guna Madhureyam Navas Vayas Chala Panga Gojwala Smita Charu Sobhagya Rit Kadya Kando Mandita Madhava Sangita Prasara Prasara Bidnya Ramya Vanama Pandita Vinita Karuna Purna Vidagdha Patavandita Laja Shila Sumaryada Dera Gambira Shalini Suvilasa Mahabhava Paramod Paramud Kashatashini Gokula Prema Vasati Jagat Shreni Lasadya Shah. Gurva Pita Guru Shnena Shaki Pranayita Vasa Krishna Priyavali Mukha Santata Shaya Keshava Bahuna Kim Gunastasya Sangyatita Hare Iva. Word for word translation. Ata, now. Vrindavan Ishwarya, the queen of Vrindavan, Sri Radhika. Kirtyante are glorified. Pavara, chief. Guna, qualities. Madhura, sweet. Iyam, this one, Radhika. Navavaya, youthful. Chala apanga, having restless eyes. Ujjwala, Ujjwala Smita, having a bright smile. Charu Shobhya Rekha Adya, possessing beautiful, auspicious lines on the body. Gandha, by the wonderful fragrance of her body. Unmadita Madhava, exciting Krishna. Sangita, of songs. Pashara Abhigya, knowledge in the expansion. Ramya Vak, having charming speech. Nama Pandita, learned in joking. Vinita, humble. Karuna Purna, full of mercy. Vidagda, cunning. Patava Andita, expert in performing her duties. Raja Shila, shy. Sumaryada, respectful. Derya, calm. Gambhirya, Salini, and grave. Shubhilasa, playful. Mahabhava, of advanced ecstasy. Parama Utkasha, in the highest excellence. Tasini, desirous. Gokul Prema, the love of the residents of Gokul. Vasati, the abode. Jagat Shreni, among the surrendered devotees who are the abodes, Ashraya, of love for Krishna. Lasat, shining. Yasha, whose fame. Guru, to the elders. Arpita, offered. Guru Sneha, whose great affection. Saki, Saki Pranayita Vasha, controlled by the love of her gopi friends. Krishna Priya Abali, among those who are dear to Krishna. Mukhya, the chief. Santata, always. Ashtava Keshava, to whom Lord Keshava is submissive. Bahuna Kim, in short. Guna, the qualities. Tasya, of her. Sankyatita, beyond count. Hare, of Lord Krishna. Eva, like. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srimati Radharani's 25 chief transcendental qualities are: 1. She is very sweet. 2. She is always freshly youthful. 3. Her eyes are restless. 4. She smiles brightly. 5. She has beautiful, auspicious lines. 6. She makes Krishna happy with a bodily aroma. 7. She is very expert in singing. 8. Her speech is charming. 9. She is very expert in joking and speaking pleasantly. 10. She is very humble and meek. 11. She is always full of mercy. 12. She is cunning. 13. She is expert in executing her duties. 14. She is shy. 15. She's always respectful. 16. She's always calm. 17. She is always grave. 18. She is expert in enjoying life. 19. She is situated at the topmost level of ecstatic love. 20. She is the reservoir of loving affairs in Gokul. 21. She is the most famous of submissive devotees. 22. She is very affectionate to elderly people. 23. She is very submissive to the love of her friends. 24. She is the chief gopi. 25, which is the last one. She always keeps Krishna under control. In short, she possesses unlimited transcendental qualities just as Lord Krishna does. Purport, Prabhupada Prabhupada. These verses are found in the Ujjwala Nilamani Sri Radha Prakaran 11 through 15. Oma Gena Timiranyasya Gyana Gena Shalakaya Chakshu Umilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Vayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupa Sagajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lita Sri Vishakam Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Paramami Hari Priye Vanchakapatrubhyascha Kripa Sunibe Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirveshesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshacharini Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gurachise Namaha Ananda Nilamaya Vigrahaya Himavya Divacha Pachundaraya Tasmi Mahaprema Raspadaya Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Hare Krishna Jai. So Srimati Radharani has many wonderful qualities, unlimited qualities. Radha and Krishna are one. When we say Krishna is unlimited, if Radha and Krishna are one, then by logic, even logic alone, Srimati Radharani has to also be unlimited. How can you be one with someone that's unlimited, same Radha Krishna, and not have the same qualities? So we have heard only 25. Only 25. To understand that. Gazillions of qualities that Krishna has and Radharani has. But one of the most wonderful things about Radharani is she is this personification of Krishna's pleasure potency, which means Krishna is great. We talked about it, we coined the word Krishna is incredibly incredible. So his pleasure is the very form and everything that involves Srimati Radharani. That's the pleasure right there. So we get a little piece of it, of Radharani, to use to learn how to serve Krishna. But she is it. She is the one that serves Krishna like no other can. As a matter of fact, it's been talked about that the gopis have the highest understanding of service to Krishna. But the gopis are from Srimati Radharani. They are from her. We can go into details about that, but we don't need that right now. This suffices to say they are from her. And she is so wonderful in her qualities. We'll talk about some of the qualities. Time would restrict us, so we'll just go without permission. I will pick some of them. I've actually already picked some of them to talk about by the help and guidance of my Guru Maharaj and his divine grace, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. So the qualities that were listed, the first one is she's very sweet. Big lesson for all of us. Now, what would you rather be? Sweet or terrible? The answer for that is obvious. When you are sweet, people feel your energy. Even strangers can tell if you're sweet. And I've seen it so many times. People who are sweet, other people can smile around them, just, start a conversation sometimes or make a positive remark around people like that. Srimati Radharani is the symbol, the highest, the summit of all of these qualities. So she's very sweet. So this Radhastami, one of our resolutions, big word, resolutions is we should try to be sweet. Now, Guru Maharaj did this, and many, many of his godbrothers commented on this. Not to put him in the center, but this is Bhaktisiddhanta Swami. The Buddhists have noticed that every time he sees somebody, immediately he smiles. Immediately he smiles. When he says Hare Krishna, he says Hare Krishna with a smile. Even to his own devotees, and I will live with him again, he said the same thing to me. As soon as I go, Hare Krishna Maharaj, immediately Hare Krishna with a smile. Every time with a smile. So we learned it. If you watch him in the videos that he's dancing, Kirtan is a smile on his face. And Srimati Radharani is the sweetest. So that's one quality of hers. Srimati Radharani is very sweet. Quality number 4, we kind of talked about it, but there's a way which this has been qualified. It's about smiling. Srimati Radharani smiles brightly, which means he doesn't conceal a smile. Some people, you talk to them, some people you meet them, and they want to acknowledge, so they go, smile a little bit like the cheek, that's it. And I remember in graduate school, one professor used to do that to me. So I would greet him and he'd go like, I'm going, why do I even bother? Maybe I should leave this man alone, So Srimati Radharani smiles brightly. Now, we jump to quality number 9. She's very expert in joking and speaking pleasantly. Again, a person who speaks pleasantly, a person who cracks jokes is a person people would like to be around. I remember one guy in graduate school. Some of my students there, graduate school, I was in graduate school myself, I was a student. So some of my schoolmates told me there was one particular person, when they get depressed, then they call him because he's going to joke over the phone and they get to laugh. So literally they were changing their mood from negative to positive by just talking to him because he was funny. It was funny. And he was just joke and so many other things that he used to do. Anyway, that's a long time ago. Now, quality number 10. She is very humble and meek. And boy, have we not heard about humility. Krishna has talked about humility in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, text 8 through 12. He lists all these qualities and he calls them, not even qualities, he calls them knowledge. That's knowledge. In other words, you should know to be like that. You should know to be like that. And if you're not like that, then you're ignorant because he says, all of these he listed, these are what constitute, according to Krishna, because he knows it all, knowledge. And anything outside of that, he called ignorance. So we should, and the first one is humility, amanitva. So Krishna is telling us that we shouldn't just be humble, we should know to be humble. We should know, because that's knowledge. A person who is humble understands how to lead life. It's another way of putting the same thing. Srimati Radharani is very humble and meek. Quality number 11. She's always full of mercy. And boy, have we not learned that from Srila Prabhupada. How in the world do you get to go back to Godhead chanting 16 rounds when the Vaishnava is supposed to chant 64 rounds, 4 times that amount? And Srila Prabhupada has gotten permission for us to chant 16 rounds minimum and go back to the spiritual world. Now, if that's not mercy, I don't know what that is. As we jokingly sometimes say, 16 rounds is 1/4 of 64 rounds. But the devotee is supposed to chant 64 rounds. And if you take it to this school, because we've all been to school before, you do an exam and you get 1/4 of 100%, that would be 25%. And many professors would never give you a passing grade with 25%. They will give you an F. So in reality, 25% is F. But Srila Prabhupada says, if you do 25%, you get to go back home on 25%. 25 said minimum, so 25% or more than that, 16 rounds or 17 rounds or 18 rounds or 64 rounds or more than that. Or more than that. If you have the time and the energy, you can do that. Haridas Thakur was chanting 192 rounds a day. Just for your information, 3 times that amount. So if we retire and one day we all get disturbed with somebody, maybe we can try that and then pass out at the end of the night the way our bodies are. But 192 rounds. Jaga and Madai, when they got rescued from their craziness by Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and they became wonderful devotees, they were chanting 128 rounds a day. So the minimum for a devotee is 64 rounds. You do a little math here. Minimum 64 rounds. If you multiply 64 by 2, you get 128. That was the rounds they were chanting. If you multiply 64 by 3, that's 192. That was what Haridas Thakur was chanting. And we get to do 64 and we couldn't do it. See, Papa brings them to 1/4 of it. That is mercy, mercy, mercy beyond compare. So, spiritual master shows mercy. Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of bhakti, devotion. So quality number 11, she is always, always full of mercy. Quality number 13, she is expert in executing her duties. We learn a lot from that also. We may not call ourselves experts. As a matter of fact, we have senses that are dull. So how can you be expert doing things using senses that are not so great? But our hearts should be there. In other words, when we're doing our service, we should do it as best as we can with our minds and our limbs. But our heart, where the soul is, should be in the consciousness of, I'm putting the best that I can. It has to be the best that we can. It may not be the best, period, but the best that we can, that's important. Because it is said in Sannyasis that preach to us that Krishna doesn't really look for how wonderfully we did something in terms of the quality of the service, but the consciousness behind the service. What were you thinking? I'm offering my best, and you should mean it. And attack service, or well, attack is, but then be gung-ho, going after the service that way. That's what impresses the Lord. The Lord already knows that these physical bodies have limited senses. So he's not surprised if some things may go wrong, but you should put in your best. So you should be like a perfectionist with the understanding that not everything is going to be perfect, but you should be a perfectionist though, wanting to do the best for the devotees, for Guru, and for Krishna. And that's the way Papa is translating here that Radharani, Srimati Radharani, goes after her duties. He's expert in executing duties. Quality number 15, she's always respectful. Now, should we believe in that? You should be respectful to everyone. Even for a small, a person who is younger, you should be nice to them. That's their way of receiving respect, when you're nice to them. Then your own peers, and you know what to do. Never insult, and then of course show respect and modesty when you're dealing with those who are senior to you. So He's always respectful. Quality number 16, she's always calm. And boy, sometimes we let material energy take us through so many things. This is happening, that's happening. This is happening, that's happening. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And we forget that Krishna is in control of everything. So hopefully our second mantra, apart from the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are humbly suggesting that our second mantra is, or should be, Krishna is always in control. We have to remind the man, Krishna is always in control. Whatever is happening that would actually make us nervous or even fearful, if we say Krishna is always in control, Krishna is always in control, then we tell the mind, because it's the mind that makes us do this. We are always protected. So then we say Krishna is in control, and that immediately would change our mood of the fear to I'm protected. We are protected. Shingadev, you can't get any better than that. Krishna protects bodies. Some people even know of Lord Ganesh. Same thing in terms of the duty. But of course, in ISKCON, Sri Prabhupada and has told us, and even I remember a lecture to the Rupa Swami also repeated that we should be happy with and depend on the mercy of Shingadev. Namaste Narashinaya. Hiranyakashipu Silatankana Kalai. Nito Nishinga, Parato Nishinga, Yato Nishinga. Bahir Nishinga, Hiraye Nishinga. Nishingamadin Saralam Papade. So we have it. We have it. We should never be fearful. Krishna is always in control. So that will make us calm, like Srimati Radharani is. She's always calm. 19, she is situated at the topmost level of ecstatic love. That's called Madanakya Mahabhav. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has explained it in his book, Bhakti Trilogy. He lists all the 7 levels of Krishna Prema. And you go from, after one gets to Krishna Prema, then there are levels that get higher and higher in the sweetness of a love of Krishna. There are 7 of them, and Madanakya Mahabhav is all 7 together. That's what Srimati Radharani has. And Lord Chaitanya also used the same when he came. So you see it in Chaitanya, the Shishastaka, so many of the qualities of Madanakya Mahabhav is what Lord Chaitanya used in describing those 8 verses of Krishna. Sometimes you see that he's talking about Krishna has been going a long time and he misses, like that. Srimati Radharani is like that. When Krishna went to Mathura, left all the gopis in Vrindavan and went to Mathura, which is not too far away, but he was gone still. They were missing him. That's called mana. That's the second level. We won't go into the details of each one of them, but they are all there. So Srimati Radharani is situated at the topmost level of ecstatic love. 21, she's the most famous of submissive devotees. So in that sentence is submissive devotees. We should submit to the process itself. We should surrender. Krishna says, Havadharma Tohityaja Mahamekam Sharanam Bhaja Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Masuchaha. Abandon the varieties of religion. They only take you up to the heavenly planets. That's not getting out of the material world. We're still in the material world, but on the heavenly planets, it may be enjoyable than the medium planets or definitely the hellish planets, but it doesn't take us out of jail. So, like that, we should be very, very, very submissive. In our minds, it should be like that. Therefore, our actions will follow. Point number 22 about Srimati Radharani. She's very affectionate to elderly people. Another important point. Affectionate to elderly people. in the Commonwealth in the United States now, when people get older, they are shooed into one place and their bodies are deteriorating, and then they give those people, younger people that are looking for jobs, they're called certified nursing assistants, and they take care of these people. Now imagine you had family and now you don't really see your family members very much. So that's business for them. But actually, from the heart, from the standpoint of the heart, it's kind of unfortunate. Some cultures don't do that. I know where I was born in Ghana, there's no such thing. Elderly people are in the home, and then they care for. They are cared for, and they give their wisdom to people. So, with your permission, this is where we end as far as the qualities. Of course, the very last one is she always keeps Krishna under her control. We're not at that level. But Krishna is happy to be under the control of Srimati Radharani. And hopefully with the way things are going now, I would like to speak in a few minutes about some of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So, the purport of Prabhupada says, these verses are found in Ujjwala Nilamani. The Ujjwala Nilamani describes so many activities of Radha and Krishna. And we advise that it's not a book you go to right away unless you understand one thing. And I'm going to bring that thing up because Srila Prabhupada talked about it in the lecture. Ujjwala Nilamani, you have to be really, really, in a sense, now just bring the word out, advanced. In Krishna consciousness, you have to be in it for quite a while and understand through the mercy of Guru, the mood of the gopis, to have any good, real good understanding about that. So I don't even put myself as qualified to read Ujjwala Nilamani. But that's where the qualities have listed. Text 11 through 15, which have been brought also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. All right, now, I would like to stop here and ask if there are comments or questions. If not, then we're going to say after that, if there are, after that, I'd like to bring up some pastimes of Radha Krishna, and they involve Srimati Radharani, Krishna, the gopis, Chandravali, Abhimanyu, therefore Jatila and Kutila, and finally, the queens of Dwarka and the gopis. So, if there are questions now, please ask them about the qualities of Radharani, and then we'll go to the storytelling part, if you don't mind. Hare Krishna. I know I've changed a lot of things since time, but I'm just getting inspired by my spiritual master to do it like that. In other words, I'm asking for questions now, if you do. All right. If not, it's all right, because at the end of this pastimes too, again, we can open up for more questions. I only said that now so that if somebody has a question in their mind right now before we get to the storytelling part, then they can ask it and maybe they won't forget it. Or you can make a note of it also. All right, so now with your permission, 3 stories chosen. We say stories, just pastimes is what it is. So this one, Krishna got himself into trouble. And big trouble. The story was told the first time I heard it by Srila Govinda Maharaj. And you know, he really gets into it when he tells stories. So in this particular episode or pastime, Krishna was to meet Radha in the groves in Vrindavan. And the gopis had prepared the grove very nicely and also gotten Srimati Radharani ready. So Krishna was supposed to come and then they'll have their pastimes. So Lalita was there, Vishaka was there, the principal gopis, They had made sure that Radharani was wonderfully dressed. So much fragrance was there. The grove, so it's like, in our American terms, it may look like, it's like, I don't want to call it a house because it's not really a house, but it's an area and has a, inner chambers and so on. So the very inner chamber, the innermost chamber is where Radharani is. And then there's the outside, some room, then it comes outside the forest itself, Vrindavan forest. So Radharani is dressed nicely. They know when Krishna is supposed to show up. Where is Krishna? He's not there. So Radharani is in the inner chamber waiting on Krishna. The servants, Lalita and Vishaka, are also ready. They prepared everything. So they're all waiting for Krishna, and Krishna doesn't show up, and therefore they started to wonder, where is Krishna and when will he come? And as Radharani waits and waits and waits and waits, she begins to get upset. She begins to get very, in our words, depressed. And she shows it by beginning to use her finger to write things on the floor, on the ground, I should say, on the ground, indicating how much that she misses Krishna. She's expressing it like that. And Lalita looks at her, Vishaka looks at her, and as he's getting more depressed, they are getting depressed, but also angry about the fact that Krishna hasn't come. And so it got to the point where they decided, all right, we'll go outside and ask if anybody has seen Krishna. But in the meantime, our wonderful mistress Radharani is so upset. We have to find a way to teach Krishna a lesson for doing something like that. So without Radharani's knowledge, Lalita and Vishaka decided they were so mad, they wouldn't even let Krishna see Radharani. And Radharani doesn't know anything about it. So they gave up on Krishna. The two of them gave up on Krishna and said, all right, well, we're just going to go try to find out where he is, just to satisfy Radharani, but we're going to teach him a lesson. So they asked around, and people said, well, we haven't seen Krishna, we haven't seen. And then someone said, yeah, I've seen him. I think he's in the grove, another grove with Chandravali. Now, you know that this is the thing that the gopis want to hear about. Krishna is with Chandravali when he's supposed to be with Radharani. So Lalita and Vishaka got even more upset, said they were justified in their being upset with Krishna then. But as things would, play out, as they were telling, some people were telling that we saw Krishna go into Chandravali's grove, not too far away. The word got around that obviously Krishna is needed. He needs to be this other grove. So the word got out, and finally got to Chandravali's grove, and Krishna heard it, that Radharani is waiting for him. So immediately, Krishna starts running. He took off me to Chandravali, I have to go. This left Radharani and started running towards the grove where Radharani was. And he got there, and who did he meet? The two gods. Now, we're not talking about the ones that have lived planet with the four Kumaras. These are Lalita and Vishaka, and they said, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You knew you were supposed to be here. You didn't come. Krishna says, I agree. I'm offender. The Gogo Mirama says, Krishna says, I'm offender number one. Offender number one. Offender, please forgive me. I'd like to see Radharani. They go, no. And then Krishna tried. He wasn't getting anywhere. Now, Krishna is not the type to kind of say, oh, hey, I'm supreme personality. I want to see Radharani. You get out of the way. No, it doesn't work like that. It's all based on love. So if Radharani wants to see Krishna, Krishna has come. And these are in the outer grove now. So Radharani doesn't know what's going on outside. They've stopped Krishna. Radharani is way inside, missing Krishna. And Lalita Vishaka says, you can't come in. And so Krishna thought about one thing. Well, Radharani likes my Shamasuna form, right? So let me see if that will work. So then he told Lalita and Vishaka, please let me see Radharani. And if I see her, I'm going to show her my Shamasuna form. They go, oh, you're trying to bribe us? Get out of here. Not even, get out. Now it's a question, I won't be see you. Get out of here. So they kick poor Krishna out. Krishna is upset. Radharani is upset because he's missing Krishna. He doesn't even know Krishna has come that close. But Lalita and Vishaka, they're angry and they kick Krishna out. So Krishna turned around and walked away. But no, the pastimes don't end like that, as you well know. So in the meantime, Yogamaya is watching all of this. Yogamaya is Purnamasi. So Purnamasi is watching all of this. He can tell, she can tell. You know, they have the powers. They don't have to be physically there. They know what's going on. So she decides to help out. So when Krishna was walking away, Purnamasi met up with him and told Krishna, I know what has happened. Now you really shouldn't have been at Chandavalis, but you know what, I know what's happened. And I'm gonna try to help you to see Radharani. He says, okay, I'll do whatever you say. Purnamasi says, you wait here. At that time, they'd gotten quite far from the grove. So they were out of sight, literally, where the grove was. So nobody could see Lalita and Vishaka at that point. Krishna walked so far away. They decided, of course, he's gone. They asked him to go, so he's gone. So in the meantime, this is what's happening. Purnamasi has met up with Krishna and says she's going to help Krishna, help the situation. So she tells Krishna, you stay here and Tulsi, Vrinda is going to come and she will tell you what to do. Krishna says, okay. So Krishna waits, and sure enough, Tulsi shows up, and Tulsi also admonishes him a little bit that you shouldn't have gone to Chandava. You know better than that. But anyway, here, this is what you do. You're going to change clothes and dress up like a sannyasi with the tree danda and everything. So Krishna was dressed up nicely by Tulsi. So Krishna looked like a sannyasi. He was totally in disguise. You couldn't tell that was Krishna. Then he gave him a tree danda, and then Tulsi taught Krishna a song that she's supposed to sing and go on. You know what sannyasis do? They go on pilgrimage. So you should just walk like you're going, but you should walk close to, there's a path close to the grove where Radharani and Lalita and Vishaka are, right? But you should be walking away though. Don't say, don't go there. Just keep going. And the song is very nice. I don't remember, but Gogovinda Maharaj actually sang that song. You know the song, right? So I'll just say, so Krishna nicely, and Krishna disguised his voice, totally different. And as a sannyasi, he's walking. Vrinda left. Now Krishna is on his own. We told him what to do. So he's walking and he's singing. And when he got to a point where it seemed to be a little close, at least in earshot, that the Lalita and Vishaka could hear him, they saw the sannyasi singing so sweetly. And the song he was singing, I don't remember words, but it was about Radha and Krishna though. The song was about Radha and Krishna. So when Lalita and Vishaka heard this, they go, here's a nice sannyasi. Our wonderful friend Radharani is depressed. What better thing could we do than to get the sannyasi to come sing and cheer her up a little bit? So they both agreed, let's go there talk to the sannyasi. So they go to him, and I still remember how Gogovinda Maharaj, but it was so funny. Anyway, he says, they went to him and said, oh, Sannyas Thakur, please hear our message here. We have a friend not too far away in the grove here. She's very depressed. And you're singing so nicely. We heard your song. You sing about Radha and Krishna. Can you come to our grove and sing for our friend to cheer her up a little bit? Sannyas Thakur says, you know us, we are busy, and we, what we do is we go on pilgrimage. So I don't really have much time. But since you want a little favor and we don't really turn down favors, so I will just, all right, I will come over and sing just for a short while to your friend. So now Lalita and Vishaka, very happy. They take Sannyas Thakur, of course, they don't know who they're taking to them, but they take Sannyas Thakur to the grove. And Krishna says, this guy is wonderful, he's this sannyasi. All right, then they let him wait in some of the outer chamber. They won't let him go into the inner chamber. They went in and told Radharani, who was very depressed at that time. So we saw this sannyasi. He has come, he's singing very, very nicely about you and Krishna. So we asked him to come to sing, to cheer you up a little bit, right? Radharani agreed. All right, so that's the situation. Not agreed about singing, agreed that the sannyasi is there. And of course, she wants Krishna, but this sannyasi, all right, you want me to sing a little bit to cheer me up? All right, well, that may work. And so they let the sannyasi come in a little bit to the inner chamber. Radharani did not want to come out. So the sannyasi Thakur came to the inner chamber, and Radharani, of course, because of etiquette, covered her face with her veil. So you couldn't see her face. This is a sannyasi, and she was showing her face to Krishna, not to some sannyasi somewhere, right? But the sannyasi is going to sing. All right. So they allow sannyasi Thakur, and hopefully you know who it is. Eh? That's Krishna. You let him in. And they introduced him. All right, this is our friend, Lalita and Vishaka talking. And we already told him that we heard you singing the song nicely. So can you sing the song again? And Sannyas Thakur started. Sweet voice. Sang the song so nicely to the hearing of the three of them, Radharani, Lalita, and Vishaka. And as soon as Krishna finished singing, Radharani says, Ashlisha pa padaratam punashima adashana mama hatam karotuba yata tata bhavidatu lampato matpana nata susa epana naivana paraha. The very last verse of the Shikshashtaka. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and whatever he does to me, he makes me brokenhearted. He's not present before me. I will still accept the situation because he is my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Radharani said that as soon as he heard that song about Radha and Krishna from Sannyas Thakur. So Krishna obviously knows what's going on. Now he's in how to see Radharani, how to be accepted by Radharani, because Lalita and Vishaka really don't want him to see. But this is he's Sannyas Thakur. So the next thing is, according to Gogovina Maharaj, then Lalita and Vishaka asked Sannyas Thakur, can you calculate the fortune for our beloved? That's how he put it. Can you calculate the fortune? Then Sannyas Thakur said, yes, I can calculate the fortune. I can calculate the fortune. And then Lalita and Vishaka says, well, to do that, you have to hold her hand. You have to hold our sister's hand and then calculate the fortune. Sannyas Thakur says, nope, I'm a sannyasi. I don't touch women. I don't touch women. But I can calculate the fortune if you will just ask her to take the veil off so I can see her face. That's all I require. But I won't touch sannyasis. We don't touch women. So I can just look at her. Okay. So then they tell Lalita and Vishaka try to convince Radharani. Radharani says, I will not show my face to anyone else. I show to Krishna, and you know that. And so I'm not going to allow it. And so they tried and tried and tried and tried. They, Lalita and Vishaka, finally, Radharani agreed, and Lalita took the veil off Radharani's face. So Sannyas Thakur can see Radharani. And at that time, if you know Gogovina Maharaj, he's a map. He said, that cheater, Krishna, that cheater, huh? He came in there, and now, I'll say exactly like he said, Radharani is looking at Krishna, Krishna is looking at Radharani, Sannyas Thakur, and he says, eyeball to eyeball. And as soon as that happened, Krishna changed himself into the Shamasundar form, and Radharani went ecstatic. Oh, yes. And Lalita and Vishaka got, Krishna, you cheated us. So there's two moods at the same time. Radharani is ecstatic to see Krishna, because after all, she was waiting for Krishna all this while. Whatever happened, she was waiting for Krishna. Now Krishna is there and showed the Shamasundar form, the form that she likes best. But Lalita and Vishaka have been deceived badly, because they stopped Krishna, and now Krishna is coming as sannyas, and done this. So they are mad at Krishna. So the two moods say, Radharani is pleased, Lalita and Vishaka are upset. But then, who is the controller among the gopis? The chief gopi is Radharani. So they had to think through this and say, but Radharani is happy. So who are we to get upset with Krishna when Radharani has seen Krishna? So they decided, all right, our feelings don't matter. They have to back away. Then Krishna explained. He explained, who are we to say anything about it? Well, yes, I was at Chandravali, but that is to increase, that you missing me more and my love for you. It came up with this kid. Later, Mishaka did not buy it. He didn't care. He didn't care at all. But, all right. So you come with your secret. So that is the first one, the fast time. Fast time number one. Now, Shivavad Ki died. So we're going to go to fast time number two. That one involves Jatila, Kutila, Abhimanyu, and Radha and Krishna, and some more. So, in this particular pastime, there was a village, and I have to apologize. I don't remember the name of the village, but it doesn't change the story, though. So, Abhimanyu was at the village. The market in the village has some cows, and Abhimanyu wanted to buy some cows at the village. Now, at that time, Abhimanyu's sister and mother, Jatila and Kutila, were also at the village. And Radharani was also there. After all, the so-called husband of Radharani is Abhimanyu. So they were at the same place. Krishna was not there. He wasn't. But so Abhimanyu decides to buy cows. He chooses the cows that he wants. He negotiates the price. And at that time, he didn't have the money, so he decided to go back home, which wasn't too far from where the village was, to get the money and come back and pay for the cows and get the cows. So Abhimanyu left. Now, Krishna is all-knowing, right? So Krishna with the cowherd boys, they weren't too far away. So Krishna already had realized, because he has the powers to, that Abhimanyu had left, and he decided to play a trick on Abhimanyu. So he came up with this plan, and the cowherd boys are very, very agreeable with any pastime that Krishna says. So Krishna told the cowherd boys, you go to the village, to the market, and tell everybody there that Krishna is coming to the village looking like Abhimanyu coming to take the cows. So Krishna literally asked the cowherd boys to go deceive people and tell them that Abhimanyu will return, but it's not the real Abhimanyu. It's actually Krishna dressed like Abhimanyu coming into the village. And immediately, of course, Jatila and Kutila, they want that marriage to not be disturbed by Krishna, the marriage between, because, Abhimanyu was husband, Radharani is supposed to be wife. So when that happened, Krishna really didn't go. Abhimanyu was at home. Abhimanyu got the money and then started walking back to the village, to the market, to buy the cows, to pay for the cows. When he got to the gate, Jatila and Kutila were there. They stopped him. He says, where do you think you're going? This was the real Abhimanyu. His mother and his sister asked, where are you going? He says, why are you asking me this? I'm coming to pay for the cows. They said, no. He says, why? He says, but you're not Radharani. I mean, you're not Abhimanyu. You are Krishna dressed up like Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu says, that's family. They go, no. Whatever Abhimanyu tried to do, they would not agree. So they all had thought that Krishna has come dressed like Abhimanyu. The real Abhimanyu was in front of them. They would not agree. So finally, Abhimanyu, whatever he said, they didn't agree. So they kicked the poor man out. They didn't let him in. And Abhimanyu knew Krishna had played a trick on him, but he could not convince anyone. He couldn't convince his mother, he couldn't convince his sister. So Abhimanyu walks away. And who comes after him? Krishna dressed up like Abhimanyu. And when he got to the gate, they thought that was the real Abhimanyu, so then they let him in. And sure enough, he had the money too. So now the real Abhimanyu has been kicked out. Krishna walks in and pays for the cows and gets the cows. And then you think that's all, right? Well, Radharani is there. And the marriage between Radharani and And Abhimanyu is the one that Jatila and Kutila like, and now Krishna is there looking like Abhimanyu. Therefore, they are accepting that that's Abhimanyu, that's our son, that's our brother, and therefore, all right, you can associate with Radharani. And then Krishna went a step further and said, there is a temple not too far from here, Durga temple, right? I would like to take, now this is Abhimanyu speaking, but this is real Krishna now. Krishna disguised like Abhimanyu. So then Krishna tells them, can I take my wife to the Durga temple for the evening and worship him? They go, yes, you can take them. So then Krishna, looking like Abhimanyu, walks out with Radharani to the Durga temple and spends the whole evening with Radharani, with Abhimanyu back at the house. So this is, okay, that's a short form of it. This is the end of the story. Krishna actually tricked Abhimanyu like that. Now, Hare Krishna. There's one more pastime, and I'm going to ask permission. It's 5 of 9. Is that okay? It will take about 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you now to say it. But if it's okay, it's from Garga Samhita. Should we tell that? Or it doesn't matter. I'm at your service. It's 5 of 9. We can stop here, or I can tell that one more pastime.
I would go ahead and tell the pastime. This is really nice. This is very, very relishable. I'm going to make you, at one point, I'm going to make you the host, I think.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to jump off. But please continue. And this is being recorded, so anybody that needs to leave, they can listen to it later on the YouTube chat.
Hare Krishna. All right, so this one is from Garga Samhita. There's one book in Garga Samhita that says, the queens of Dwarka meet the gopis. The book itself is entitled like that. And this is exactly what it talks about. So in this pastime, Radharani was with the gopis as usual. And the one particular gopi called Chandanana Gopi started this whole pastime. Now, a little bit about Chandanana Gopi. If you know the pastime between Shankachud and Krishna, Shankachud wanted to have one of the gopis for himself. Shankachud is a demon. And so he went to a place where Radha and Krishna and the gopis were having the rasa dance pastime. And he hid himself and he saw they were dancing wonderfully. And of course, he was very envious and wanted one of the wonderful, beautiful gopis for himself. So he went around, the gopis are a lot, they're in the millions. And he was able to grab one gopi, and that gopi is Chandanana Gopi, the only one that starts his pastime. So Chandanana Gopi was stolen by Shankachud, and as he was taken away, so this is another pastime connected to this. Chandanana Gopi was screaming, Krishna, I'm being stolen, please help me. So Krishna stopped everything and literally went after Shankachud and chased him. Went all the way to the Himalayas area, and Shankachud grabbed a sala tree, which is a very, very, very strong wood type tree. He pulled it out of the ground, and Krishna pulled one, and they fought with the sala tree, and Krishna killed him. Shankachud. So that particular gopi, Chandanana Gopi, in this pastime was telling Radharani, I have heard about a place called Shida Ashram. In Shida Ashram, there's so many boons that you get if you just visit there. So much to gain from going there. So as she was trying to convince Radharani and the gopis, they talked among themselves, and finally Radharani agreed, all right, I will go to Shida Ashram. And all the gopis were very, 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 very happy. And they even decided that Radharani should go in a palanquin. They put him in a palanquin, put her in a palanquin, and some of them, they would take turns walking to Shida Ashram. They started their journey. Krishna, in the meantime, is in Dwarka. Krishna knows what's going on every time. We know it's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was with his queens in Dwarka. He knows that the gopis are planning to go to Shida Ashram. So then he tells his queens, there's a place that's very auspicious. It's called Shida Ashram. I would like to go there. The queens said, oh, sure, we will go with you. So they also agreed. So from Dwarka, Krishna and the queens started heading for Shida Ashram. In the meantime, the gopis with Radharani in a palanquin, they are also traveling to Shida Ashram. Now, as they were going, as Garga Samhita explains it, Satyabhama, one of the queens, She is so frisky, she's so cunning, she's very interesting. Some of the things, special pastimes, Satyabhama is involving. Satyabhama started talking. Oh, by the way, Krishna told them that the gopis may be there too. He told them that they may be there too. So then the queen said, oh yeah, the gopis, yeah, that we are queens. These are just girlfriends. We are just royalty. And we are very beautiful. And Satyabhama says, look, just look at Rukmini. How pretty Rukmini is. He won't praise himself, of course. He will praise it. And they all have wonderful, got a parijata flower and all so many things. This is all wonderful. So all right, the gopis, yes, they're girlfriends. So we'll see them at some point. And they says Radharani, who is Radharani anyway? She's a cowherd girl. So we are the queens. This is on and on. Krishna is hearing all of this. He said nothing. So they go with Krishna towards a place. Obviously, they're going to go to see the ashram. So at some point, they're going to meet. Because the road, there's one road that goes there. Okay, so one direction, another direction. Then they meet together and go. So at the distance, the queens, 16,108 of them. 16,108 of them. The gopis are in the millions. So actually, they are totally outnumbered, right? So 16,108, now you have to think are few compared to the number of gopis. So they means after all these things that Satyabhama is playing the queens up, like how wonderful they are and how beautiful they are, they saw the gopis at a distance. And of course, their eyes are better than our eyes. In the distance, they can see quite well. So they saw that Radharani was in the palanquin. The first time they saw Radharani. So when they saw the beauty, they were so surprised. All 16,108 queens fainted by seeing Radharani's beauty. It fell apart. Oh, so, Satyabhama had to just, in the manner of speaking, eat her own words. They hadn't seen beauty like that Radharani had, and then the gopis are also very, very beautiful. So finally, they just Krishna didn't say anything because he knew this was going to happen, that something would happen. They fainted. Krishna woke them up, brought them up back to consciousness. All right. So now they move a little bit, and now the queens are also very, very well behaved. Satyabhama was just playing them up, and then they found out how beautiful Radharani was. So then they meet. They actually met. And when they met, Radharani very humble. The queens were the ones speaking. Satyabhama was still speaking. It's wonderful that we've met you, and we are going to see the ashram. From our understanding from Krishna, you're also going to see the ashram. We've heard that you do pastimes in Vrindavan. It's called a rasa dance. Can we do rasa dance with you? He asked that, and he asked Krishna, can we do rasa dance with the gopis? Krishna says, ask Radharani. I wasn't going to say any word. Ask Radharani. Radharani says, yeah, you can. When we get there, Siddha Ashram will do rasa dance. And then Satyabhama started. But Siddha Ashram is so nice. We've heard so many good things. You get so many boons from it. I'm sure you've heard it also. So then the rasa dance in Siddha Ashram has to be better than the rasa dance in Vrindavan. Krishna says, ask Radharani. I'm not asking that question. So Radharani says, yes, it should be a very nice pastime to have rasa dance at Siddha Ashram. But I have to tell you, does Siddha Ashram have the kinds of flowers that are very typical for Golok Vrindavan, the way it is in this Vrindavan here? No. Those wonderful humming bumblebees that really excite us, when you see Krishna and Radharani and if the aroma, the bumblebees are all around them. We didn't hear anything like that about Siddha Ashram. Do you have that there? The queens all agreed, no. So she listed about 3 more points that were not in Siddha Ashram, and they all had to agree. So then Radharani said, all right, we're going to have rasa dance at Siddha Ashram, but don't get your hopes so high about the rasa dance in Vrindavan, because we know what really happens there. So again, another point. The queens had to keep quiet. And then they went. 16,108 of them, small compared to millions of gopis. But they all went to see that ashram. Then Rukmini decided to honor Radharani. And so she prepared some nice hot cow's milk to give to Radharani. Rukmini to offer to Radharani, Rukmini, the leader of the queens, offering the leader of the gopis. It was very nice. Krishna's watching all of this now. He says nothing. So, nice warm milk. Rukmini gave to Radharani, and Radharani obviously drank the milk. And then when Radharani finished drinking the milk, they looked at Krishna, and Krishna's feet had developed blisters. And they go, what? Why? Why are there blisters on your feet? Krishna has very soft feet. Now they got blisters on there. Radharani drank the milk. Krishna has got blisters. And the queens are totally confused about it. So then Radharani explained, Krishna is in my heart, always. And when I drank the milk, that milk was a little too warm. But because you gave it to me, I did not complain. I drank it anyway. So then when I drank, and we are one, me and Krishna are one, therefore the heat affected Krishna and made his blisters come on like this. And it's another lesson for the gopis to learn, the queens to learn. Oh, so there's that kind of relationship between Radha and Krishna? So finally, so you see all of these things happen even before the Rasa dance. So now they didn't in fact have the Rasa dance in Siddhartha. It was wonderful, but the queens have been put in their place because Radharani had told them, yes, we'll have Rasa dance with you there, but you can't compare the Rasa dance to the kind of atmosphere in Vrindavan. So the queens accepted it. They had wonderful Rasa dance. The gopis were very accommodating, and they saw this whole thing about Radha and Krishna dancing, and then Krishna separating himself as many millions of gopis and queens as they were and danced with them. Same thing that happens, similar thing that happens in Vrindavan. So the queens had a great time. And finally, the queens, obviously, they had to go back after being in Siddha Ashram. Then the queens invited the gopis to Dwarka. And the gopis accepted it. So now, all of these millions of gopis accompanied Krishna and the 16,108 queens, and they went to Dwarka. The queens went, the queens returned to Dwarka, and the gopis also went to Dwarka. And it says in Garga Samhita, Krishna immediately started building palaces. Wonderful palace for Radharani, and then wonderful palaces too for all of the gopis. It doesn't say one palace that per queen, it just says palaces for all of them. They accommodated very nicely. And then Garga Samhita goes on to describe the Dwarka a little bit. It has 4 gates, and the Sudarshan Chakra protects one gate, and Lord Shiva protects another gate. And so the pastime is actually over. After that, he was talking about a few things about Dwarka itself, because when they got there, and of course, there's a book along the whole book, so then it describes Dwarka so nicely too. So we found out a few things. The Sudarshan Chakra is one of the protectors of the gates at Dwarka, and Lord Shiva is another protector. There are 4 gates. It's only, excuse my memory, only 2 of them I remember right now, and the other 2 are protected also nicely in Dwarka. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So we've come to the end. Thank you for tolerating me. And as Gunataja Prabhu has said, he actually has made me the one to be able to go on with this. So if you have any questions.
It's a beautiful class, Prabhu.
Krishna's mercy.
I enjoyed so much. I enjoyed so much Krishna's class. And I would like to know, what is that song you were saying in the beginning? You remember? You couldn't tell the song. Can you?
Gaur Govinda Maharaj sang it once. There's no way I can remember unless I go back and find the pastime again and then take it. No, I was just listening to the video. Actually, it was a CD. It's a CD somebody gave to me as a gift. So a CD it's an audio lecture, and I have to find it somewhere here.
I would like to know that song.
Yeah. Oh, he sang it nicely. Govinda Maharaj likes to sing even in between lectures. Yeah. He takes wherever the reference is and he sings a reference like that. So yeah, I'll try to look for it. Okay, I'll try to look for it and see if I can find the CD again.
That's one thing is bothering me. And the
Hare
way
Krishna.
Krishna, there is no limit for his acts and everything. And that's why he's Supreme Personality of God.
Absolutely.
There's no comparison. Nobody is there. That's it. I enjoyed so much today's class.
But I mean, I'll tell you something personally. When I saw that book that said the Queens of Dwarka meet the Gopis, I knew there was going to be something interesting already. The Queens and them, huh? You know, the last time something like that happened, no, there were Queens. That was well, the demon council was about to be killed. Yeah, in Matula, something like that happened. That was,
and the way he went like sannyasi, you know, that was another one. I liked it so much.
I'll try to look for that song because Radhani went crazy after
I would like to know that song.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, Maharaj knows all the songs. He's just saying it right. That was the first time I was listening to it. So it's like, whew. So I heard the Ashlisha part of them, but that's the last one that Radhani responded. That's so Radhani was so impressed. He says, I know Krishna, that's my Lord. Whatever happens, he's my Lord unconditionally. Humbly yours.
But of all that, you know, he's scared of Radharani, and he thinks that how to convince her and how to go. He listens.
Very important point.
You remember that 15 numbers you read at the end? You were saying that Krishna was surrendered to Radharani. That's it.
Yeah, he likes to keep Radharani under control.
Controls Radharani.
Yeah, she always keeps Krishna under her control.
So that is really something. Thank you.
Something for Mataji to think about, how you keep your husband under control. I know
that's what I was.
But
that's
I
what I was about.
I don't argue too much.
Modern society.
We don't argue too much. But when you got a good wife, you don't really have to argue so much. You go along with the program, everything works out. If you have a good wife, though, and we do.
That's not the thing, too. But Radharani is also a good one, you know. But he did. He listened to everything.
So the lesson for the men is, if you have a good wife, trust that things will work well and just go along with the program. Don't try to put your ego so much. You're only going to cause a problem. You'll be unhappy. She will be sad, and your love will go south, right? You have a good wife, you just let it. I'm learning too. And the more I do that, the better things are in this whole family.
Prabhu, olden days that was, not modern days.
Yeah, modern days is Kali Yuga.
It's not. Nothing is there. Olden days, you know, they say that we are old people, but in olden days it used to be like that. Not Kali Yuga.
Yes. Older days means Kali Yuga was not as bad as it is now.
That's
older days means it was getting better. We're just leaving
after the end of Kali Yuga, only it will come again. I don't think in Kali Yuga.
So new things have happened, but about better things, not necessarily. We have new technology. Is our life really better quality-wise? Only if you're connected to material things would you say a thing like that. But real quality, the Papa says, simple living and high thinking.
That's true.
He didn't say complicated living, he said simple living. Okay, so I know.
Thank you.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I know you're on Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. First, apologies and then the question. The apologies because I did not join the class to listen to the lecture. I had like a burning question going on in my mind since last night. So I had to get it out. I had to get a clear answer for that question. And so I thought, okay, why not take a chance and join the thing? And I was about to go to the office and it was like 9 o'clock. Okay, why not? Like if someone is there today teaching the class, thank you, because your face, your lecture, your presence brings energy. I don't know what it is, but I think
it's Guru and Krishna's energy, not mine. I can never.
I don't know. It's Krishna's energy manifested through you to us, or like I don't know, the chain, the starting point and the end point. Thank you so much because you make Monday mornings very bright for everyone. Thank you.
That is a very big thing to put on me.
No. And Monday morning.
Last time I heard praise like that, you know what I said? I said, Prabhu, are you trying to bother my false ego? Then everybody started laughing at me.
No. It's just that, some people carry that aura. I think something that is probably that radiates. Monday mornings are really important for people who go to the office. How their Monday morning starts. And you bring that special energy to all of us. Thank you so much. And so here is a burning question.
All the praise goes to Guru and Srila Prabhupada. As you well know. That I'm happy with. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Okay. So
do you have a question?
Yeah. So
you have a question? Okay.
So yesterday evening, I had like a huge verbal fight with a friend of mine. He wanted me to invest in some kind of a cryptocurrency. And he said, Renuka, take my word for it, invest $500 and just forget it. I said, it's not the question about $500. I'm not supposed to gamble. I'm not supposed to go to Las Vegas and gamble. And this putting money in this cryptocurrency is a form of gambling. And I'm totally against it. I'm following these principles and this philosophy of ISKCON, which is Lord Krishna's teaching in a way, boiled down to human understandable format. And I said, I'm not going to go against those religious principles. He scolded me left and right. He said, you're mad. Do you know how economies run? He was talking about GDP. I argued with him about GDP. I said, no, I mean, investment. This is something that is so
I understand.
Here is my question. I want to call him back and tell him back, no, I have not changed my stance even today. So, so investing in cryptocurrency, which is a hot thing happening right now. And according to him, and according to Elon Musk, and according to a bunch of venture capitalists, and according to a lot of economists,
I know of them.
Crypto is the way to go. And if you don't invest, you are like a fool. So should I invest? No, my question is, should I invest or not?
Should you invest or not? Well, in the comments that you made, you answered your own question. In the comments that you made, you said, the first thing you said against him is, I don't want to do it because it's a form of gambling. Well, now, I'm not sure Prabhupada, but see, Prabhupada says, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no meat eating. So you correctly have said, it is gambling because in gambling, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And that is also true for cryptocurrency. You win, your paycheck is not winning and losing. It comes straight. If you get into business and you make money, you come straight like that. And these other ones, now there's some devotees that against that, and they think, oh, you can make money that way. That's their opinion. I go by what Sri Papa says. If it has anything to do with gambling, well, then it is part of it. Some people say, well, you drink coffee, but you're not getting, it's right, Papa's wife told him, you sold Bhagavatam, he sold the manuscripts that Sri Papa was writing Bhagavatam, and he bought tea with it. And Sri Papa got upset with her. And when Sri Papa says, why are you drinking tea? And wife questioned, Sri Papa says, it's an intoxicant. And the wife said, but we don't get drunk by drinking tea. But then she got a point there too, but there is also intoxicant in it. And so if you saying that cryptocurrency, you can make a lot of money, but you made the point that there's gambling in it. But if there is gambling, there is gambling. Just like if there's caffeine, small amount of it in tea, there is caffeine though, and that's an intoxicant, period. And so I play safe. And it looks like you also play safe. Cryptocurrency can make money.
So here is the following argument that he made with me, and I made a follow-up argument. He said, so if I make money in cryptocurrency or whatever it is, and I donate that money to ISKCON, wouldn't ISKCON take my donation? I said, no, ISKCON would not want a donation that comes through gambling.
If ISKCON does not know that you got it through gambling, he may be able to sneak in. If you tell ISKCON devotees that I got this money from gambling, please take it, they probably will turn it down.
That's
but
what
if you go online, right, and you donate that kind of money, it may go through or it may stop. Now, I'm saying it may stop because it's happened to me before that sometimes there was not gambling. I don't do any gambling money, but sometimes Krishna has so much control. Sometimes we forget how much control that he controls everything, including the computers. So there have been situations in my own life that there was something that was not supposed to happen, and I did it and did it innocently. And in the middle of a transaction, it stopped. And I tried it again, and it stopped again. You get me the message, but my controls me that much. Now I'm revealing to you. So I have no doubt that if it is meant to be okay, it may go through. But in general, what's wrong is wrong. What's wrong is wrong. Somebody may donate, and I'm saying like I'm speaking on both sides. But the point is, there was one sannyasi that played the stocks and made money. The sannyasi had disciples. He made money and donated the money to ISKCON. You know what happened to the sannyasi? He's fallen down. He has fallen down. Prabhupada's disciples fallen down. I don't want to mention names now. He was very helpful to ISKCON. Some of his notes were wonderful. People still use some of his notes when you want to, even service. And temple commanders use some of his ideas. I had a cassette of it, that time way back in the 90s. But when he fell down, many of his godbrothers concluded that it was because he made money from gambling, playing the stocks, and wanted to devote that to ISKCON, and therefore his whole life was gone. He was no longer sannyasi. And of course, he couldn't donate to the temple also. So these examples are there. So first, between you and me, I think you've made the right decision. Now, if Krishna wants you to be rich, he won't make you rich. Do you need cryptocurrency to be rich? If cryptocurrency involves gambling, I'll never do it myself. I won't, because I trust Guru and Krishna so much. If they want to make, there's so many ways. I mean, I have so much. Personally, I can sing, I can play keyboard. If I can make money that way, so you can make money with other things too. So look at your own talents and make money from there. And I would stay away from gambling because we're so close to going back to Godhead. You don't want Maya to get in the middle and stop you with something like cryptocurrency, and then you don't get a chance to go to Golok Vrindavan that has everything you need and no anxiety. So that's the answer that's coming to you. No, I won't take a chance in anything in this material world. As Mataji was also thinking about it, Mataji was also telling you, things are getting worse. So many things like that will come. That seems like wonderful opportunity. Some people are going to be swayed into it because they can see the profit and possibility. So much easy ways to make money. The more internet becomes accessible, the more the ordinary person can make a lot of money. That's coming. But you also have been told, Kali Yuga is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. So it's going to get worse physically. It's going to get worse mentally. And you got tempted by this guy. And you won. Even though you brought it up, you won by your argument. Because the basic things your Papa says, no gambling. And you got that point. So Krishna helped you. But as soon as you saw it as gambling, you were on the right track. So now, if you stay away from it and Krishna wants to make you wealthy, he will make you wealthy way beyond what cryptocurrency can give you.
Any other things.
Yeah, can give you. You just have the faith. And I'm happy to see you again. Have the faith. Have the faith. If you want to actually, let's tell you about Lakshmi. Now, I'll make one comment about Lakshmi. That my spiritual master said, if you really want to make a lot of money, it's very simple. You should be genuine about wanting to serve Krishna in the project in ISKCON with a lot of money. If you want to do that and you really, really mean to do that, Krishna will open the doors to make far more money than you wish, and you have some left over to write whatever situation that you want to live in. You have all of that. But the first thing is, I should make money to serve the devotees. That's the first thing. And now, two things. If it is genuine, that if you make money, that you won't go crazy with the money and start doing things in Maya, then Krishna will give it to you. But Krishna knows your heart, Paramatma knows your heart. If in fact there's a chance that making money will interfere with your bhakti, then Krishna won't do it. Because he only does what you need, not what's going to give you Maya. Because if he puts you in Maya, then of course you're not going back to Godhead this lifetime. You're not. So money should also be with a purified consciousness and good intention to serve the devotees. Then it will come easily, and you don't need cryptocurrency or something involving gambling, breaking the regulated principles to make money. You don't need that. You don't really need that. So you are in the right mind, to sum it up, you are in the right consciousness to argue with him about the investing in cryptocurrency. And if, you do what you want to do, but if I were you, I'll say no to him again. And I'll trust Krishna says, if I want to make money, if I want something a little bit better here, but it's okay if you grant it to me, and my wish to you is, or my promise to you is, I will serve. Now go to Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami says 50% you use it to serve Krishna. So just vow to take 50% of what you get, you give it to ISKCON projects and go by exactly what Rupa Goswami said. You put money aside for emergencies, you put money to serve yourself, and to make sure that you're okay because you're in the material world, your necessities are provided, and then half of it you use in Krishna's service. If you go by that formula, you don't need cryptocurrency. Krishna will give you everything you need. Hare Krishna.
Whatever way we give, Prabhu, donation, whether you're gambling or anything, Krishna knows everything.
Yes.
He went like sannyasi, and he could do that for Radharani, how he met. So he knows everything.
Yeah.
So
that's what we have to remember.
Also, yeah, that is the.
Yeah, we have to remember.
He's in your heart. That's why you are feeling so much.
Yeah, you can't hide everything. And I really recommend.
You cannot hide anything.
Yeah, I really commend you for even now you're asking a question. But the first thing you did that you saw cryptocurrency as gambling, that was 99%. You passed. You passed. Yeah, you already had an A for that particular comment. Even though now you're thinking again, yeah, of course, Maya would do that. But you're losing an opportunity to make so much money. This man is making it easy for you. That was your temptation. That's all it is. It's a temptation. And you know when temptation comes, the best thing to do is to beat that temptation. It is gambling because you cannot change the poor regulated principles. It's there for all of us. And that one is qualifies on it because you can lose money, you can gain money, you know, on a whim, literally, without doing much. You don't work hard for the money. You just play with the computers and it comes or it doesn't come, or you're at the mercy of what the demons decide the cryptocurrency value is going to be. You're in gambling. You're definitely in gambling at that point. So you're right. And I support you 100%. I wouldn't do it. Let everybody be wealthy and all of that. Your wealth is, I am going back to Goloka Vrindavan. Can anyone beat that? All the anxiety will be gone when you go back to Godhead. So let them have whatever. And the Christian wants to make you wealthy, he will. Go do the right way.
That's right.
Do the right way, and the wealth will come if it's meant for you.
Like Lakshmi wants to come, she will come anyway.
Yeah,
she will know. She also knows like Krishna. So
very good point that you brought up.
Plain the other way.
Yeah.
So,
very good point you brought up. This is for a lot of people to hear, and I know there's going to be controversy around it. We're sticking to our guns. See, Papa says no gambling, and I am not in position to change anything. Gambling is wrong. See, Papa says it's wrong. So then he's the one that's made us change 16 rounds to go back to instead of 64. And he has said that, and he says no gambling. I'd be crazy to change anything like that. Personally, I would be crazy to change anything like what he says, what I do. Then when it comes time to go, you tell the 16 rounds, but you said so and so and so, and I obeyed it. And that spiritual master makes it easy for you to go because you obeyed Krishna. Not cryptocurrency, you obeyed Krishna. That's the difference. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I had
we can end whenever, so you can go.
Yeah. Thank you, and I think this cleared my mind. So even his argument was, why don't you invest in? Take my word for it, just to understand how brilliant I am about getting rich. And he said, 10 years down the lane, this 500 will become something else, and donate that entire amount to ISKCON. So why don't you take my word and do it just for the sake of listen? I said no. If I want to donate to ISKCON, I'll do it through my hard work, through my paycheck, even if it is as little as very bigger amount. So here is my question, Prabhu. At the end of the day, to run a temple or whatever it is for the operations and all that, it needs money. If my small donation of a very meager amount, how far will it go, right? So in that case, are you not well, I should have taken Vijay's advice. Vijay said, invest in this. I should have invested and donated that entire amount to ISKCON. So you will be bifurcated in the mind two ways, right? Small amount through my paycheck, through my hard-earned paycheck, or big amount through not gambling. It's a regulated thing. Cryptocurrency is regulated. It's not really gambling.
Very, very, very important point. What Vijay told you was Maya's excellent way of using some excuses to get you to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It does not change the fact that you're still gambling. Maya, let's bring you to Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord not Lord Kapila, one that had 100 sons, Lord Rishabhadev said that, and if I remember correctly, the road to hell is very wide open. And the road, which means the other one is very narrow. And you're trying very hard to stay in a narrow road, and Vijay is pushing you to this big road with all the pavement and all everything there.
You can go fast.
Tolls. You don't pay tolls. The tolls are with the other one. Yeah. That's your devotion. You have to do work there. Vijay is convinced, but Vijay, I would assume, is not a devotee. Vijay is convinced that you make money this way. Material. Same thing that Skanda and Amarka were trying to tell Prahlad Maharaj. This is how you become rich. Prahlad Maharaj says, I am a devotee of the Lord. He told the classmates, you do the bhakti. They were learning in their class at that time. Hiranyakashipu's, the demons, all of them, and their children, they were learning the very thing that this guy is telling you. We have different words for it. Cryptocurrency. How to become rich easily and get over on other people. Same thing. That's what's in the Bhagavatam. And Prahlad Maharaj stands up on his desk and says, you need to do bhakti right now. And he even pays his father and says, my dear Hiranyakashipu, go to Vrindavan and you just offer your obeisances to Vishnu. That is the right thing. So Prabhupada has told us the right thing. So no matter who tells you anything going forward, if it's against the regular principles, don't do it. Don't do it. Strong. This is how Krishna is going to be happy with you when it comes time to go back to leave this body. That you stood up to all of the temptations in Kali Yuga. That alone will give you so much opportunity to go back. I like to make money too, but I'll never go there. I'll use my talents. And it becomes fine. If it doesn't, that's okay. We're just trying to go back to Godhead. We're not trying to be rich here or even donate. If Krishna wants donation to ISKCON, there's so many ways he can do it. So if your small amount is donated, but your good heart and with the proper way of getting the money you donate, is far better than going through gambling to get. And that particular sannyasi, I almost mentioned his name. He gambled and he lost. And he lost even his sannyasi position. And all his disciples, he had a lot of disciples. They became orphans. And those without a spiritual master. Was that good? No. No. But he went to gambling, just like cryptocurrency. So let them do it and say, okay, you want to be rich, you get rich and stay here on the earth. I'm going back to Godhead, which is a whole lot better. Yeah? You heard some of the pastimes who are running the queens. You can't beat that. Krishna will build your palaces. What about this cryptocurrency? Whatever it is. I think
this Kali Yuga makes Kali Yuga makes a lot of this sidetracks, Prabhu.
Yeah. See, like, a lot of deception.
Parikshit Maharaj couldn't stay there for that Kali Yuga, Kalis, this thing. And for a second he did it. He was so much big devotee and everything.
Yeah.
And what, the curse he got it, that is another lesson for us.
Yeah.
So
except that we got to listen to Bhagavatam too from it. So that was a past time. Yeah.
Because of him, we listened to Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
But what still?
But yeah, he did something wrong. He did.
Still, Kali Yuga, our mind is going back and sidetrack. After listening Bhagavatam also, Krishna only has to help.
Yeah. So, I like controversial questions like this. It may seem controversial, but it helps everybody to get the right state of mind. I mean, how determined are you to go back home? You really want this earth? But then you can give this to, even in the Bible, it's there. Believe me, Jesus went to fasted for 40 days, 40 nights, and then the demon approached Jesus and says, I can give you the whole world to just worship me. Finally, Jesus, he answered in so many ways, and then the fourth time of temptation, he says, get out of here, go. He just ordered the demon away. So yeah, they will in fact people will try, that mean well, because he doesn't know any better. They think cryptocurrency, well, it's an opportunity for everybody to make money. Don't we have to
Maya also pays
it's Maya.
Role. Maya plays a big role.
If you want to be a devotee, then you stay with the devotional principles by Srila Prabhupada. If you become rich, fine. If you want to be rich, use the money. Tell Krishna you want to use the money to serve ISKCON, and if you really mean it, then he will give you without cryptocurrency. Without cryptocurrency. Without anything that involves gambling. Cryptocurrency is just an example. Without anything that involves gambling, then you'll be fine. You have to protect your kripa.
If we have the good heart to donate or do anything, the Lakshmi will come automatically. We need not go to sideways.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, that's also all right. Because we have
that's all right. That's it. We're clear.
Yeah. Srimati Radharani says, no matter how you treat me, I'm your worshipful Lord unconditionally. But you go back to Godhead, though. That's the best part. That's the best part. That don't forget. Don't forget. And I'm with you 100%. And I'll pray for you that nobody changes your mind to do anything outside of Srila Prabhupada's. I'm serious. Outside of Srila Prabhupada's principles. Because Goloka Vrindavan is such a sweet place. We don't know. We just forgotten. I could go on and on and on. This is last Friday, I heard a lecture from Krati Prabhu, who's also a spiritual master, describing what happens in the spiritual world. And his disciples are asking all kinds of questions. And when he finished, I'm telling him, I said, why am I sitting in this material world? People are having so much fun. There's no comparison at all. So now don't lose the opportunity to go back to Godhead. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Hare Krishna. So
thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
There are 3 chats. Well, now that I'm lead. Batsa Ashok is saying, Hare Krishna, nice lecture about Srimati Radharani. Thanks a bunch, Haribo, all. Well, thanks to Prabhupada for putting us in a situation where we can repeat his words. And Susan Sharma, okay, it was really nice to hear about Krishna and Radharani's pattern. Thank you, Krishna. And then Radha Bihari says, very nice, we appreciate your time. Please accept my humble obeisances. All right, so all of these, since I'm now, been put to do this, all the credit goes to Guru and Krishna. Thank you. So thank you on their behalf. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for today, Radharani's this thing. You just gave a very good lecture, Prabhu. Thank you.
Krishna's mercy. Can I know something?
Yes, Krishna's mercy. Yes.
Yeah, and I'll say something. One more
through
thing.
You, we are listening. That is your mercy. Now that you are the representative for that.
I'm just saying what comes to me that they are feeding me. I have on either side of the computer. I have my teacher Mahaji, Prabhupada here, and then Jagana Gopi. Jaganabadi Gupi and Subhadra Murthy also here, and that's what I'm looking at and preaching. So they just, I'm just saying it, but they're the ones that are preaching through me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhobhye vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Philadelphia Ataki allowed me to serve because I did the Janmashtami lecture and now I get Radhastami lecture on top of that. Remember,
so you're coming to
it
the
was
temple?
my turn to preach in both cases. So I don't know. I can't be more ecstatic.
Today you are giving the class, Prabhu?
No, the Janmashtami. That was earlier, 2 weeks earlier. That was also me. My turn.
Radhastami.
Yeah.
You're coming to the temple?
This temple here. No, I'm in Harrisburg. I'm supposed to. I've been giving service, so I can't come to the temple. No, I was saying Janmashtami. Morning. That was my turn to preach. Janmashtami, and now Radhastami again in the morning.
That is Krishna's mercy.
I was just very fortunate. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. We are fortunate. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't know. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right, so we'll end then.
We'll end.
So everybody have a wonderful Radhastami celebration.
Thank you,
Radhastami Mahotsav ki.